Welcome back. We're here with Erica Jaffe, talking more about the production process, what to expect, what things cost, why they cost, what to think about. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty with post-production, the finishing of your video. And this is something that should come after really good pre-production, after really good production, and now you're putting it in an editing software, you're getting it finished. So Erica, tell us what we need to think about with post-production. I mean, there's so many different softwares out there, there's so many different ways to approach it, workflow, then there's graphics. How do you go about doing post-production?
Well, with post-production, like with production, right tool for the right job. Do you want control over everything, every little detail, if you're creating graphics, every little thing of the graphics, then you need a software program that will let you do that. If you kind of want something real basic to just kind of put together some easy clips back to back and that's it, then there's software for that too. So definitely right tool for the right job. And then as an editor, that's really when pacing comes in, music comes in, really when the story is brought to life. So what I get from a producer, first and foremost, is hopefully high quality video, because then you're going to have a high quality output through post-production. But from the producer, all the information as far as graphic information, audio information, that's when things like montages, if you're going to do little music interludes, all that stuff needs to be discussed as it's coming into post-production.
Right. And getting the montages you spoke of, the pacing you spoke of, and using that right tool for the right job, I mean, that's not that easy. As much as there's iMovie and there's great tools out there, but when you're trying to make a custom video, you want an editor that knows how to use that software, that can actually get in there and figure out how to create the feeling and evoke the emotion you want for your video.
Yeah, and I feel like there's two different types of videos. One that's very visual driven, that's very cool, like think of commercials that are very flashy and catchy, but then there's also those that are content driven, where you need it to be solid, you need the message to be there, you need the audio to be really clean, and depending on which way you're going, it's good to hire professionals that are professionals in those areas.
Absolutely, and we do both, and we work with a lot of customers that don't necessarily need all of that flash. What they need is a video where people can stop it and start it, and it's a training video for a product or whatever, a product demonstration, and it doesn't need to have all of that high concept, high art stuff. Now, if you're trying to make a commercial and really bring awareness to your brand and stand out, yeah, it's worth going the extra distance with maybe 3D graphics. And that's one thing, talk a little bit about graphics, because I think people don't necessarily understand the difference between editing and graphics, and then on even a further plane, animation.
Yeah, so graphics are just overlays that go on top of your video. Some can be very simple, like lower thirds, to put people's names up, or they can be title graphics, and graphics just really need to have a point. You don't need to go to the high end of animation and spinning things if you just need your logo to appear. Or on the other end, if you really are trying to go with a high quality look, maybe getting an animation in is really what you need. And as the whole production process goes from pre-production through production to post-production, those animations, those little graphics should be discussed and thought of, because especially if you're gonna have graphics appear while we're standing here, it needs to be shot correctly. So things like graphics need to be thought of through the whole process. 3D animations, that sort of thing, requires a very specific skill set, very specific software, very specific training. So that's kind of a whole other world on its own. And sometimes when you're talking in the pre-production process about budget, maybe that's really important and it needs to be budgeted for. Sometimes it doesn't. So it really just depends on what your vision is, and those discussions need to happen throughout the process. So when it does come to an editor, the editor can either say it is in their skill set or is not in their skill set, and those discussions can be had.
Or it's in the scope or it's not in the scope, another big one. I think that's always going back to that pre-production meeting and thinking about this is why you have a budget, because the sky is the limit. I mean, motion pictures cost millions upon millions of dollars to make, and you can produce a video for a couple $100s, just depending on what things are important to your final message. Any more information or tips on how to think about the production process, come on over to our website or email us.